From a small village to a great dream. Part 2. New challenges, stronger friendship. Spring arrived in Willowbrook, painting the fields with colourful flowers and filling the air with the cheerful songs of birds. The long, cold winter had finally ended, and the children eagerly returned to school after their holiday. Ethan Parker was now in the 2nd grade. Although he was only 7 years old, he had already become known as one of the most hard-working students in the school. His teachers admired his curiosity, and many younger students looked up to him because he was always willing to help. Every morning, Ethan woke before sunrise. He made his bed, helped his mother prepare breakfast, and watered the small vegetable garden behind their cottage before leaving for school with Oliver Brown. The two boys laughed and talked as they walked along the narrow village road. "What do you want to become when you grow up?" Oliver asked one morning. Ethan thought for a moment. "I don't know exactly," he admitted, "but I want to do something that helps people." Oliver smiled. "I think you'll do something amazing." "And what about you?" "I want to become an engineer," Oliver replied. "I want to build bridges and trains." The two friends shook hands. "No matter what happens," Ethan said, "let's promise to help each other." "I promise," Oliver replied. School became more difficult with each passing month. The lessons were longer. The books were thicker. The homework took more time. Some students complained every day. But Ethan enjoyed every challenge. Mrs. Williams often noticed him staying behind after class to ask questions. One afternoon she said, "Ethan, never lose your curiosity. It is one of the greatest gifts a person can have." Those words stayed with him. Not everyone admired Ethan's success. A boy named Jack Turner often teased him. "Teacher's favorite?" Jack would whisper. One lunchtime, Jack laughed at Ethan's worn-out shoes. "My dad buys me new shoes every year," he boasted. Ethan looked down, but remained silent. Oliver stepped forward. "It isn't the shoes that matter," he said calmly. "It's the person wearing them." Jack rolled his eyes and walked away. Ethan thanked Oliver. "You don't always have to defend me." Oliver smiled. "That's what friends are for." At home, life was still difficult. Thomas worked hard whenever he could, but some weeks there was very little work. Sarah accepted every sewing job she could find. Sometimes she stayed awake until midnight, finishing dresses and repairing clothes. One evening, Ethan quietly sat beside her. "Mum, can I help?" She smiled. "You already do." "I want to earn money." "Your job is to study," she replied gently. "Education is the greatest gift you can give yourself." Ethan nodded. He promised himself he would never waste that gift. The village library opened a children's reading club every Saturday. Membership was free. For Ethan, it felt like discovering a treasure chest. The librarian, Mr. Harris, welcomed every child warmly. "You may borrow 2 books every week," he said. Ethan's eyes sparkled. Every Saturday, he borrowed books about science, history, nature, inventors, and explorers. Soon he had read more books than most children twice his age. Mr. Harris noticed. "You remind me of myself when I was young," he said. "Books can take you anywhere." "They already do," Ethan answered with a smile. One afternoon, Mrs. Williams announced exciting news. "Our school will hold a Young Inventors Fair." Every student had to create something useful. Some children planned colourful posters. Others planned simple machines. Ethan wasn't sure what to build. That evening, he and Oliver searched through old boxes in Ethan's shed. Using pieces of wood, string, cardboard, and recycled bottles, they designed a simple bird feeder that could collect rainwater automatically. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't beautiful. But it worked. For 2 weeks, they improved it every afternoon after homework. Thomas helped cut the wood. Sarah carefully painted it. Even Oliver's father offered useful advice. When the project was finished, everyone admired it. The day of the Inventors' Fair finally arrived. Students proudly displayed their creations. Some looked expensive. Some were very colourful. Ethan worried his simple invention wouldn't stand out. The judges slowly visited every table. When they reached Ethan's project, one judge smiled. "You made this from recycled materials?" "Yes, sir." "And it collects rainwater?" "Yes." The judge nodded with approval. "Very clever." At the end of the day, Ethan won the Creativity Award. The prize wasn't money. It was something even more valuable. A complete children's science encyclopedia. Ethan hugged the book tightly. "I'll read every page," he whispered. As summer approached, another challenge appeared. Thomas injured his back while working. For several weeks he couldn't lift heavy tools. Without enough income, the Parker family struggled again. One evening, Ethan quietly counted the coins in the kitchen jar. There weren't many. He looked at his parents. They smiled as if everything were normal. But he understood the truth. They were worried. The next morning, Ethan asked Mr. Harris if he could help organize books in the library after school. Although the library couldn't pay much, Mr. Harris gave him a small weekly allowance and free snacks while he worked. Ethan carefully arranged books, cleaned shelves, and helped younger children find storybooks. He loved every minute of it. Months passed. The little allowance helped buy bread, milk, and school supplies. Sarah thanked him. Thomas placed a proud hand on his son's shoulder. "You've become stronger than your age." Ethan replied quietly. "I learnt that from you." At the end of the school year, the principal addressed all the students. Success is not measured by wealth, it is measured by honesty, kindness, and determination. As the applause filled the hall, Ethan glanced toward Oliver. His best friend smiled. Without speaking, they both remembered the promise they had made on the road to school. No matter what happened, they would face the future together. Neither of them knew that the coming years would test that promise in ways they had never imagined. End of part 2. In part 3, Ethan enters middle school, meets new classmates, faces greater academic pressure, experiences betrayal and disappointment for the first time, and discovers that courage is sometimes harder than intelligence.